Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to Tarot Talk with TarotStache. I'm Tanys Coughlin from the Twillo Lifestyle Community, Twillo Lifestyle Academy, and I am joined today by Gerald from TarotStache.
Hello.
Hey, you. So
How are you?
Going? I'm great.
It's going great for me. I'm looking forward to this because I think it's one of those things. I think people are interested in learning about tarot and how to deepen their understanding if they already have studied tarot. And I think it's a great thing to have a conversation about. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because shall we share why we're having the conversation?
Yes. Go ahead.
I'll let you do that. You go ahead.
Well, I'm going to be teaching a class with the Twillo Lifestyle Community sometime in the fall. Still working out the details. And today, I've done on my channel, some people may remember, I've done Tarot the Stache Way, and I've had great conversations about that. This is going to be an opportunity for us to dive in a classroom setting where people are it's going to be interactive via Zoom. So there's an opportunity for people to take the concepts that I'm sharing, immediately apply them to how they operate with the tarot. So I'm going to give you a second to chat or share anything that you want, because it looks like we've got a lot of people here.
A whole bunch of chatters going on. So we need to say hello to a few people.
Yes.
Hello, Aspasia Rising.
Hi, Beth.
Welcome.
Thank you for being here. Yes.
Hey, Beth. And we have Woo Woo Wonderwint. So, hey, Kaylee. Tarot Token Witchery.
That's Zane. Hello, Zane.
Hi, Zane. Nice to meet you. And we have Jennifer, Joyful Journey.
Hello.
Yes, twice in one day. I just came out of Twillo Talk, and now we're here. It's awesome.
Yes.
And there's a hi for you as well from there. And then we go from Maruda.
Hello.
Hey, great to see you. Thank you for joining us. And who else? Oh, and Jen's like, count me in when you're talking about the class. So that's awesome. And we have a hello to Linda Kennedy.
Hi, Linda.
Hello. Rose Blue. I think I saw something from her. Yep. I wish I could help, but I don't know how to do the cards. That's the whole thing. We don't want you necessarily to help us know that, but we want to talk about it and how you learn. What is your learning style? That kind of thing.
Yes.
And who else have we got? We have Linda. Hey, Linda. Linda. Thanks for joining us. Great to see you. And of course, we have the best chatters going on here, right?
We do. We do have the best chatters.
All sorts of stuff going on in the chat. They're all chatting to each other. So that's awesome.
And so I was the one who asked Tanys, I said, let's do this because this is an opportunity to find out different ways to explore tarot. How have you explored it? Give us some information about that so that and so that it gives me an opportunity to create something, or to keep it in mind as I create this class, to try to reach the most number of people. And my idea for this class is anyone, from somebody who has been reading tarot for many years and somebody who has never picked up a deck. This is going to be helpful for both of them and the range in between. So, because
we can always learn from each other, right? So no matter what your level is.
Exactly. Exactly.
So quick hello to Moira D.
Hi, Moira.
Hey. And we have Suzanne Woods. She's looking for a community that are enthusiastic about tarot. I'm interested in what you're talking about. That's awesome. Happy to have you.
Okay, I'm writing down what Kaylee said, which is more hands-on the better.
Yes, this one here.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm writing that down. Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
And thank you, Beth. You've come to the right place. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Suzanne says she's an intuitive reader, but do have the foundation in Fool's Journey also. So many ways to read. It's very exciting. Yeah. There are, right? There's as many ways to read as there are readers.
Yes.
Really.
Yes.
Because we all bring our own flavor or style to the readings. So that is what is fascinating.
What is Linda De Gonzalez said at 7:35? LOL, my learning style is FAFO.
Yes. I don't know what that means either.
I don't know what that means. And Kaylee has cards in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So.
And then there's this one.
No
matter how long a person's been reading tarot, there's always more to learn. It's like yoga that way. And probably physics, but that's a wild guess. Not a physics one?
Probably.
Oh, I see. There we go. That's what it means.
Oh, well, yes. That, yes. Yeah. I would actually say that is actually part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Because that's you getting to know your energy with the cards and getting to know the energy of the cards. And
yes, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So, and go ahead.
There's another one.
A super beginner having a quick reference guide or a quick way to remember would be super helpful. My big struggle is always remembering the meanings.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a good thing, because Kaylee, here's something to think about: is do you need to have a list of this is what the 3 of Pentacles and the 4 of Pentacles and the 5 of Pentacles mean? Or do you want to be able to have something that helps you find it out and figure out what it means?
Mm-hmm.
So
that is a good question. And we have Jana here. Hello, Jana. Welcome.
Hello. Apprenticeship.
She says apprenticeship is the best system. So playing with the cards, that was similar. I got a deck with words. Yeah. So I actually brought out 2 of my decks just to kind of show a little bit about them, right? So I think a standard one is like your Rider-Waite deck, right? A lot of people have seen this one. This is your, it's kind of like the industry standard, if we're going to say that. But then there's all sorts of ones, like the other one I just grabbed was this one. And so the Rider-Waite deck, there's no words. It's just like pictures, right? If you're not familiar with them. Versus what Rose Blue is talking about, which is with words on them. So this one here, the power animal one, they're all different directions, but anyway, they're meant to be. They have words like on the bottom to give you a little bit of insight into them. So just in case people are wondering what that
and means. Also, like, for instance, there's the Apprentice Tarot, deck featuring the Universal Waite. They actually have information around it so that it's available to read, and it also indicates the upright and reversal. And so, but I have a little bit of a different approach that I'm going to be taking, because initially you are not going to we're not going to start with a specific deck. We're going to talk about the concepts. So that you can use those concepts to help you understand and use your own skill sets. So
awesome.
Yeah, learning tarot is a combination of air and earth. Book knowledge mixed with hands-on. Yes. And I would say, and I would even add to that, Beth, you got a little bit of fire there, because people can get inspired they can get passionate about it, and then that leads to a deeper understanding. And with the water aspect is it can be emotional, and there's a different way to connect.
Yeah, so, definitely.
And so, yeah.
Linda has ones with directions on them.
Yep. And Linda, that's a very important aspect. Yes, I think.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The
yep,
keyword.
The keyword ones. And then we have Moira.
Yep. Lisa Papez has an awesome word keyword approach to learning tarot. Good to help beginners just starting reading. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great, because that's kind of like the concept thing that you're talking about, right? Where it's just a concept about a card.
Yeah.
And then, although you're talking about more like concepts of the suits first, I believe.
I'm actually, yes, I'm thinking about that. But, there's a lot of different ways to look at tarot. And I am working with what's the best way to build this so people who are attending the class can go away and practice what they've learned and then come back and share what their experience has been.
Yeah.
So, and so I think people who are able to, there are really wonderful like keywords. I love me a good keyword.
Yeah.
Love me a good keyword. And people who have done that, I applaud them. I have a hard time, obviously, of picking one keyword. I mean, to become, honestly. So.
Yeah, it's true, because there's such a deep meaning to each card that one word is difficult to cover that.
Yeah.
So. Hey, Rachel, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
And Jana says hi. What else have we got here? Wandering Star.
The Wandering Star is a really good tarot deck with words. There aren't a lot of words, and they are mixed in with the art. Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Yeah.
And then we have Shem joining us. Hey, Shem, thanks for joining us.
And Rose Blue, this one I got at my local witchy shop, but it is available from the Zon of Amma. It's by US Games. So you can purchase that if you want. Perfect. But again, you don't have to have a deck when you start the class.
Right. So, well, then because you do want to pick a deck that you resonate with too, right? Because there's so many different ones.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You can. And I think that's an important thing. You can write your own keywords on a study deck. Absolutely. Absolutely. And there are people who are watching who have created their own tarot decks. And if you want to really get a deeper understanding of tarot and the tarot cards, creating your own personal deck is a great way to do that. That being said, you don't have to, you can actually write down the title of the card, and then you could write all your keywords down, and let's put it this way. You can use little index cards like this.
Yeah. Or if you've got two screens, have it up on the other screen while you're doing your readings, if you're doing them online.
Yep.
Or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Big hello to Jonathan. Hey, Jonathan. You're folding laundry. Can I send some more your way?
Yeah. I have quite a few of that. Moira has a great question.
Yes.
How did I learn tarot?
I would love to hear this. Yes.
Okay. Some people have heard me before, but I learned tarot because a couple of friends, two other friends, there were three of us, were reading tarot, and both of them were in a coven where Robin Wood was the high priestess. So she is their coven mother. So the Robin Wood Tarot is the tarot deck that I started to use and learn. And so what the three of us did is we each got a copy of the Robin Wood Tarot, which everybody knows that I love the Robin Wood Tarot. It's this deck. It's a great little deck. Looks like that. Robin Wood actually wrote the Robin Wood Tarot, the book. Nice. And this is, and I love her forward, which is "All right, you win." And because she didn't want to write a book, but it's really, really important. So I learned it because I actually, I studied it. I read the book, got to know all of the information in this, and then I met with my friends and we talked about it. So it was a study group. It was really, really powerful. Yes. And then what we did is because each of us, we bought a Robin Wood Tarot deck because, our friends were connected. We each bought a new copy of the Robin Wood Tarot. We worked with it for a full moon cycle, and then we mixed our 3 decks together and then created 3 new sets of cards, one for each of us. That was a combination of our the 3 decks that we started, because it was part of our learning process. We thought,
interesting.
Cool. So
yeah.
And so that's how I learned tarot. And Moira, I also took classes with my my current high priestess in taking those, and those were really helpful classes as well. So awesome. I hope that answers your question, Moira. And the other thing that I do, I am a collector of books. I get lots and lots of books. I'm always very curious. For me, if I get a tarot deck, Tanys, I actually like it to come with a good sized book.
Mm-hmm.
I will pay the extra money for that because it helps me understand.
Mm-hmm. So that's great. So Linda says, I would also like to be able to look at the pictures and be able to explain.
Yes.
So that part would be your second part of your thing, I would think, second or third part of the class, because we were going to avoid, I think, pictures at the beginning, correct?
At the beginning, but this you bring up a really great point, Linda. There are many ways to read tarot. Mm-hmm. I think about there's 3 distinct ways. One is to memorize the meaning of the card. Every mm-hmm. time you see the 3 of Cups, that's what that card means. Mm-hmm. Another way to read tarot is you do it intuitively. What's your intuition telling you? Mm-hmm. And then the third way is a combination of those 2.
Yeah.
And I think it's the third way that is the most beneficial for people, because it really, really allows for people to use their intuition and their connection to their spirit guides, divine, whatever you want to call it, as well as giving some support for traditional meanings. So,
mm-hmm. Yeah, and the symbols, of course, in the cards, right? There's some universal symbols throughout the decks that you find that will
absolutely.
give you hints, right?
Absolutely.
Ms. DJ, welcome.
Good to see you.
Hi, Ollie. Akela B24. Hello, welcome.
Good to see you.
And Jonathan says he's tempted by the word cloud tarot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have to. That sounds intriguing to me.
I have it right here, and the word cloud tarot. And again, for entertainment purposes only, don't buy this. The word cloud tarot. I did a flip through on my channel. Well, I didn't do a flip through. I did a discussion about it, and it's one of those things that this one, the creator has actually. All of the, what word clouds are. It's you can mm-hmm. fill in a bunch of things and it gives us that. that is created the background. So there's always some good information there.
That's cool because it gives you a whole bunch of keywords, right?
Yes. So it also adds that idea of bibliomancy, which is reading, it's like opening a book and starting to read somewhere, and then that's what you notice.
Right.
So,
for me, for those kinds of cards, that I would find probably that I find this with certain symbols. So I could read the same card 4 different ways for 4 different people because different symbols light up for me, or they pull, like I'm drawn to them.
Yes.
And
yes.
I think that would be the same with those. I'm pretty sure I would get, a certain word that would show up for me for different people. So,
yes.
And we have Andrea, not sure if it's Winder or Winder, but welcome. We have Megan, who got off early so that she could join us. We're happy to have you, Megan. Thank you so much. And Marita liked the deck. Ming, hey Ming, nice to see you. I'm new to tarot, also new to tarot oracle cards. Excuse me. Would you like to continue that one there, Gerald?
I have many, but I don't know how to use them. My favorites are Dragon Path and Bird Vibes. And I think it's one of those things that is, I think a lot of times a great way to develop your connection with reading with a specific deck is that you work with that deck for a period of time and you study it. And if it has a book that comes with it, then you read it and you explore it and you connect with it. So I'm glad, Ming, that you have found some decks that you really enjoy, because I think it's really important that these are tools. And I think it's important for us I want the tools to feel good in my hands. That's really, really important. So.
And Ming, you're so in tune with the energies. The energy of the deck is going to be important for you too. So you're going to read the energy of the cards too.
Yes. Yes. Photo signature pens for writing on the cards. Yes.
Okay. And we want to say hello to Spiritual Rain. Hello, welcome. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. What else have we got here? What are you communicating with when using tarot? Your guides, right?
Your guides, the divine, the consciousness, the energy of the energy of the person for whom you're reading. Lots of different possibilities. And that's something that in the class, and maybe this is, second level class, it's as you get to understand the tools, you also are getting an opportunity to connect with the energies at a more deeper level. And the way you connect is different than the way I connect. And both of those are equally valid.
Yeah.
So, absolutely.
And doing things like tubing and stuff, you're familiar with that, Ming. So tubing is like you bring a big tube of light down around you. That helps to keep your messages clear, right? As you go through too. And hey, Lightfoot, thanks for joining us. And we have Twisted Sushi.
Hello.
Hey, Amanda. We have Linda Kennedy. What else have we got here?
And Beth says, I've been practicing tarot reading since the late 70s with a long hiatus for child rearing. I just kept slinging cards, reading what I saw, and then looking up the meanings. Practice. Well, that's a really key thing, because that's one of the things that before I did my deep dive into the Robin Wood tarot, I would lay out a spread and then I would read what the book meaning was. And that makes perfect sense. That is one way to learn. I find that I think people are a lot smarter and more connected and have the ability to put 2 and 2 together in a way that works well for them.
Yeah.
So,
I agree. And
Kaylee
Kaylee
said,
says,
I think that's why I find Lenormand somehow easier. Picture in one keyword with many meanings based on the context. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and so for people who don't know, Lenormand is a different card reading system, and it uses a different style of cards, where there's just 36 of them instead of 78 cards in a tarot deck. And I do like reading Lenormand, and
I do have one of them here.
I have one of them as well. I have the Sawyer's Path.
These ones, and they have a different like appearance. They have like this one anyway has the regular cards attached to them as their suits.
Yeah.
Does yours do that too?
This one doesn't have the cards because they were playing cards. So they're equally useful in doing readings. They just have a bit of a different feel to them and a different use for them. I think Lenormand is a very clear and direct, oftentimes for me. However, that being said, you can read layers upon layers and layers. When you get more experience, you can read many different layers in with the reading of the tarot, and that's something that when I'm teaching, I have to be careful with, because I like to overcomplicate things. So,
right. Yes.
So there you go. There you go. Oh, yep.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, that's great. Yep. We have someone else joining us. How are you, Thomas? Thank you for joining us. And Suzanne says, how will you notify us about classes?
We'll be doing some. I'll be putting some videos up. It will be in the Twillo on the website. Yep. So we will absolutely be letting you know.
Yeah,
we'll be promoting.
So definitely like subscribe to Gerald, subscribe to TwilloLifestyle.ca, and both of them we're gonna cross do this. So it's all good. Mm-hmm. Yes, it is my throat chakra. Oftentimes on the shows, I find that somebody will come in to our room, and I'm a physical empath, and so I'll end up feeling someone else's throat chakra. So granted, it could be mine tonight, but it could also be somebody else's that came in the room, because that often happens to me.
Well, and Suzanne did subscribe to the channel. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Awesome. And tools feel good in tiny hands.
They do.
Yes,
they do. So
yes, it's going to be in the fall. We're still fine tuning the timing and stuff. So just
it'll be in Zoom.
Yes.
So my challenge will be to take this from, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right now I've got like 8 classes, 8 content things put together, but I'm still fine tuning it, which is why you're here and you're helping. So
that's right. That's why we asked for your help.
Mm-hmm. And so Moira, this is a good question. Like lots of people, I don't like the RWS when I was learning tarot, but have come to appreciate it more and more. We have so many choices now, but the good old RWS is a great place to start. RWS is the Rider-Waite Smith.
Oh, okay, yes.
That's the RWS, and yes. Pamela Coleman Smith is the artist, and Rider-Waite are the authors who wrote it. And Moira, I'm actually a person who, and I was telling Tanys this, I'm not initially going to be focusing on the images. I'm going to be focusing on the concepts, which will allow people to, for me, when I think about it this way, it helps me to be able to connect with any style, Tarot de Marseille, Thoth. So what were you chuckling about?
Oh, I'm chuckling about this one. I thought tubing was a recreational water sport. That depends unless if you're in my world.
Yes.
It's a big tube of light. I don't do the tubing.
There you go. So
Beth says some people don't believe you communicate with anything other than your mind. So it's more of a psychological tool. It's possible.
Yeah. So I'm also scanning down. So yes, I would read the cards intuitively first, then the book. Eventually I found my voice with the foundation of knowledge combined. That is so true. That is very, very true. So
yeah, that's a good one.
Studying Lenormand.
Thomas says he's still studying Lenormand.
Uh-huh.
And here's another one for you.
Yep, spreads. That's something I have on the list. And because a lot of times having structure helps people learn, because then you understand that if you're laying 10 cards out, these cards mean these, this is what those positions mean.
Yeah.
And if it switches up, it can be very, very confusing. Thank you, Beth.
Oh, Shem thinks it's someone else.
Yeah.
Linda says, are you asking for guinea pigs? Because she'll volunteer. That's awesome.
There
That's
you go.
Awesome. Content classes. So
yeah, where can I find your other? I mean, I have stuff on Tarot the Stache Way playlist on TarotStache, and but there's all sorts of classes on the Twillo.
Yeah, we got all sorts of them. We're just building the schedule for the fall, so that's going to be coming up there. And oh yes, thank you. There we go.
Thank you, thank you,
thank you, thank you. And down on the bottom, or where are we here? Did I put it here? I did not. Oh yes, twillolifestyle.ca on the bottom there under Gerald. You can see that.
Yep.
That is the website. And so if you go there, yes, right there. And that will have the listing of all the new ones. They're coming up. So I'm just going to be posting them probably in the next 2 weeks. I'm looking at the schedule. And one of the big ones that's coming up is the Galactic Shaman program. So that will be posted there as well. Nothing to do with tarot. It's not our topic, but that's where all of those classes will be, is on that particular site. Yes. And we have here.
Akila B24, interesting. I was just sitting here thinking about a conversation I need to have with my throat chakra. And here you are feeling someone's throat chakra. Wow. Let me back.
Well, thank you for coming forward.
Being honest. So.
Guess that's where I was feeling it. So thank you.
Yep.
And then what have we got here? Oh, Shem says goodbye. Bye, Shem. Thanks for joining us.
Bohemian Rose Tarot. Hello.
Hello.
And just joined using numerology and elements helped me to learn early on. Thank you for that.
Good. Yeah.
And this is what I want to know is how have you learned? What ways have you learned that have been very supportive? Because Bohemian Rose Tarot, numerology is a key thing, as well as elements. So what has helped you? And if that question doesn't make sense, let me know. I can add more to that.
Very cool.
So,
Structure of spread helped.
Structure of spreads helped me a lot. I still love the Celtic cross. It took me a while to step off the ledge and go free form. Yeah. The Celtic cross is a very traditional tarot spread that is put down in. There's a set form on the side. There's 4 cards that go up a path, and then you have cards in the center. To the left-hand side, and then you have cards surrounding that. So, so that's helpful. But
Yeah, and I think the structure of the spreads does help in a sense, because you're saying that if it lands here, it has to do with this. So it kind of puts it into a context that you might not have with if you just did the free form. So it gives a bit more context to it, I think.
Yes. And Beth said, Gerald, Def teach elements in numerology, in my humble opinion, very important. What about the astrological associations? I am not very good with astrology, so I would have to be doing a whole lot of studying on that. So
there's also the different correspondences for some of them to things like the Kabbalah as well. So there's lots of those kinds of things. It's like, it's like houses in astrology.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And in thinking about the tarot deck, the traditional tarot deck has 22 major arcana, which are I think those are the archetypal aspects. And somebody mentioned it earlier, it's like the fool's journey. And so the idea of the fool's journey is that the path goes from the fool or the 0 to 21, which is the world. And where those things fall, can those are significant events. That being said, you can do readings with just majors only. You can also do readings with minors. So the 56 cards remaining are the minor arcana, which are ace through 10 of each of the 4 suits, and then the 4 court cards. So there's 16 court cards in the tarot deck. So Jonathan is tempted to do a live stream about the Celtic Cross because its form is not set as we think, many versions, and it's a spread that is able to explore many, many topics. Yes, and there's some really, really wonderful books out there that have a lot of those, which are so, so powerful. So
yep, definitely.
And
Linda says life path numbers, oracle cards, and 3 cards, and a pendant.
And so
and Beth says, yes, I'm still learning the astrological associations. I kind of gave up on the Kabbalah. I recognize words, but that's about it. Yeah, it's a little bit more complicated. Yeah. I have a little bit of training in Kabbalah, so I understand the words, but if you don't, it is a little challenging for sure.
Yeah. So, the numerology is an important thing, because the numerology does allow you to really read typically any of the styles of tarot. Because the Marseille, the Tarot de Marseille, which is a pip style deck, which means when you have, let me show you this. This is when you have, this is the Les Marseilles Millionnaire de Marseille by Chris Butler. So with this is a pip style. This is what you have. This is 7 wands. This is 6 of swords. This is La Luna. So this is where, when you have something like this is really, the numerology is extremely important. That being said, I did a couple of years ago, I did learn how to start noticing the visuals and what stories the visuals were telling.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Agree, Jonathan. The Celtic Cross I learned just felt wrong, so I changed it up myself. Was glad to later learn there's no right way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, Beth. Numerology is especially important when you sling 7 cards and 4 of them are 6s. Yes.
Well, yes, definitely. Definitely something to bring forward. Court cards can be tricky sometimes. Are the energies within the querent, people in their lives? Context is so important. Yes, that's true.
Bohemian Rose Tarot, this is a good question. Context is extremely important. And I guess with people who are reading tarot, what is it about court cards what do you find challenging about reading court cards? So, and yeah, court cards can be, pip decks are a great way to focus on elements and numbers. Yes, that is exactly true. Court cards can be tricky. Is it energy in querent's life or a person? Context is king. Context could also be queen.
Could be.
Or the knight or the page. So court cards really for most people. Yeah. And Moira D said court cards.
Still.
Yeah. So I guess what is it about the court cards that causes some concern? I'm just curious. Because court cards are going to be, it's actually a significant part of this class, because it's one of the things that I actually like. I like court cards quite a bit.
Well, if you're doing a love reading, then it's great, right? Because it gives you all those archetypal energies that you can pull forward to give info with. Yeah.
Okay. Reading court cards, in my opinion, are easier to read when you go intuitive. Then you can see if it's the querent's father or yourself or
whatever, right? Yeah.
Moira said, court cards, the image doesn't always give you anything to read intuitively. That's why I like decks like Everyday Witch, where the meaning can be read in the image. That's helpful. Thank you.
It is.
Thank you. And because I have some opinions about the court cards that might help with that and understanding them. Yes, it might help. Use your tiny hands.
I only have these hands. They're kind of tiny though. They're not big hands.
Use your tiny hands.
Mine are not that small.
But court cards are, I think it is something important to understand. While I hope that people, when they attend this class, is they get to understand that they are developing their relationship with tarot. And I am going to be sharing and teaching how to work with your understanding and deepening your understanding and letting go of some of the misconceptions that might show up. So that's a challenge of the court cards. Often you can go by the book. It's just confusing. Yeah. And Jonathan said, as a former teacher, the thing that I saw being the biggest problem for my students with the courts is that they didn't know when to read them as personal energies or people outside of themselves.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
And that's where it's valuable to tap into the intuitive side of things. So building that intuitive side of you is an important part of the process, I think. Yeah, I agree. Reading court cards in context to the other cards for sure. Yeah.
Well, and that's context is key when reading tarot.
It is. Yeah.
I'm writing that down too. I've probably got that written down about 30 times. Context is key. So, do people who are learning tarot, and we're talking about elemental associations or the suits, And typically the suits are pentacles, swords, wands, and cups, not necessarily in that order. And each of those have lots of different names.
They do,
and
yeah.
Depending upon the artist, the creator, and I'll be honest with you, I love it when I see a new word or something associated with the energy, because each of those 4 suits has an energy about them. Yep. And that's critical. Intuition is important for sure. I set the intention before reading that the first court card is querent energy, the second is someone else. That is beautiful.
Perfect. Yeah.
That is beautiful.
It's like we could do court cards and the stuff could be all over the place like this, but if we give it parameters, right, and we start to sort of, then it gives spirit something to follow as well.
Well, and it also, and just like Bohemian Rose Tarot is doing, you have given it a specific way for your deck to work with you.
Yes.
So I love that. The first court card is queer energy and the second is someone else. Yep.
Very good.
Yeah.
And speaking about the different types of court
chalices
cards.
And batons are pretty common. Yes.
And like this one here, this is the Archangel Power ones. So you'll notice on here, it's like Gabriel, Michael. So the court cards are the different suits, I should say, are the different angels, and they embody different energies.
Yes.
So there's a connection with that, with them as well.
Well, and you just shared another thing to look at is that what are the archangel energies associated with the suits?
Yep, exactly. Even long-term readers can get confused with court cards. Definitely. Mm-hmm.
So let me ask this question, because we're at about 47 minutes and I don't want to go too long. And since we still have a lot of people watching, and this is wonderful. If you have, what's one or a couple of things that you wished you knew when you first started learning tarot and studying tarot?
So we're looking for like an aha moment, right?
I'm looking for an aha moment. Yeah, I'm looking for an aha moment, or, one of the big things that I wish that I learned is that when I'm learning, I wish I had actually had a notebook and I wrote all of my cards down and I dated it. That was something that I wish I had learned. But I'm just curious for people who are watching, what's something that you wished, if you've never taken a class, or you wish a teacher would tell you? Because, hi, I could be your teacher. Yes, I can probably go back in time and help you. So I like that.
Yes.
You never stop learning with tarot. Never. Yes. And Linda, I'm glad that you're doing that. I'm glad you're doing that.
That's good.
It's writing it down.
Yeah.
That it's okay
to go rogue
when I read. Yep. That I can, like any deck that speaks to me, to have confidence in my intuitive hits. Yes. And Merita says, the fact that Marseille, Thoth, and RWS are all different and all have clones. Okay. Good point. Yeah. And Moira, I wish I started with one deck and learned it well. I went crazy buying decks, which distracted me from actually learning tarot. Moira, I see you. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. I have a lot of tarot decks.
Me too.
Yeah. And the thing I actually tell people is to read tarot, you really only need one deck.
It's true. One that you really, resonate with.
And it could be one that you created using little index cards.
It could be.
Jonathan said, the thing that I wish my earlier self would have learned is that there's many, many layers to the tarot, and you don't need to know all of them to be a good reader. True. You don't. You don't.
Yeah.
And Jeff Tarot Ask Backwards is here. Hi, Jeff. Good to see you. And Linda's, but some of them are so pretty. Yes.
I know.
And
that's how we end up with so many of them.
I have a lot of tarot decks that are just 78 little pieces of art that are in my collection, and so
yes.
And Rose Blue is back eating your soup.
Welcome back.
So if there's okay, so if you've shared with me some of the things that you wish you knew, what's something you don't ever, what's something that a tarot teacher should never do? How's that? There are no bad cards.
Yes, there's no bad cards. Because it's all our judgment on it, right?
Yeah.
Lightfoot, hello.
Yep.
I collect tarot and oracle for the artwork. Yep. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. That's how you end up with 700 decks, Linda. Indeed.
Okay, so love that we only need one that we connect and resonate with. Yep.
Sufi Tarot
was great.
Hey, Jen.
Hi, Jen. And okay, and at 8:22, Beth said, one of my first decks did not work for me. A Swiss tarot teacher said to me in strong Germanic accent, why are you using that terrible deck? Well, you know what? I would question that teacher, because I'm a person who, you find out what works for you. And as a teacher, it's my responsibility to encourage you to think and stretch your skill set. I'm not going to try to convince you to do something a different way. I'm going to offer some suggestions, and you get to be the informed person and do what you want or do something different.
It would be, I'd invite you to try other decks as well.
Yes. Yeah.
And Ming has a question.
How do you ensure accuracy while reading, reducing projection? That's a good question. A lot of times, Ming, that happens when you are setting how you are preparing to do a reading. For me, the space that you set up, and one of the things that I want to talk about in either the first or second series is asking the right question.
Yes.
A well-worded question can reduce projection. It can also reduce confusion. And so those are very helpful. And I'm a big fan of ritual.
Yeah, me too.
Getting myself ready. So
yeah.
I'm finishing writing this down.
A tarot teacher should never override the intuition of a student.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very disempowering for students, right? When we do that.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Never teach the astrological association with the court cards, which only work with
Thoth. Yeah.
Problematic teacher teaches from ego. A good teacher teaches from an open, sharing heart.
Yep.
Oh, always. Yes.
Yep.
I always say we learn just as much from our students as they learn from us, if you're a good teacher, right?
Yeah. Yeah. This is good. I hope that I would be a teacher who teaches from an open and sharing heart, because that's a creative thing.
It is.
I think that's great. Yeah, well-worded question and ritual. Yep. Yeah. Okay, so Beth said, no, Gerald, she was 100% right. That deck did not work for me. I still don't know why I kept trying. I went out and got a wonderful deck. I needed the kick in the butt. Yes. Yeah.
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 Sometimes that we do.
Yeah.
Never read on something political more than once.
Well, that's a really interesting thing, Jeff. It's because I've had conversations about this recently with Linda de Gonzalez. I think it's important that you don't ask the same question multiple times because you're going to get confusing information.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Yeah. Thank
you. I agree. He absolutely does have an open, sharing heart. For sure.
The right question and spread is really key. I always taught my students to know the book, but to put their knowledge to the side when reading to allow the right knowledge to filter through. Yeah.
Yeah. Good point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love it when your deck gets fed up with me, and when I keep asking the same question, they really slap back. They can.
Oh, yeah, they do. Mm-hmm.
They can. They really can. So this is an important thing is because if you are wanting to expand your understanding and experience with learning tarot and reading tarot, I think it's an important thing to I'm working hard at developing something that builds, that gives you the ability to have the tools for when Gerald's not around and you're reading something at 3:00 in the morning because you can't sleep, you are able to use the tools that you have created and you develop in the class so that you then have, you can figure it out on your own. Because trust me, I don't want calls at 3:00 in the morning. So
it's not a good idea.
No. So there's more great stuff in here.
Rachel wants to know if you're speaking to her insomnia.
I'm not speaking specifically to your insomnia because if I was, I would say, let her get some sleep.
Yes.
So, spending time with the question is super important. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Bohemian Rose Tarot, don't read on your own question more than once. If you don't like what you see, you might be too close. Purchase a reading. That's an important thing to get somebody else to read for you, because oftentimes we are too close to our own the energy. It's I want this, I want this, I want this, but instead we miss the gems that are placed in front of us.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Lightfoot, I once asked the same question several times of the same deck. After 4 or 5 times, the deck clearly told me to knock it off. Yes. And picturing a giant mustache floating on the wall.
During her insomnia.
Yeah, there you go. Count the number of mustaches to help you get to sleep. Is the class aimed for beginners, intermediate, and or advanced readers? Yes. Mm-hmm. My goal is to really help people get a new way to look at things, Moira, because there will be assignments, because it's me. There will be work that needs to be done, and a beginner is going to have a different experience than somebody who is advanced. And both of them are going to be equally powerful, because I hope to encourage people to really, really put their skills and their knowledge together in a new way to help them be more powerful. Mm-hmm. So I think if Moira, how long have you been reading tarot, Moira, or working with it? I think you're newish, aren't you? But I think I would say open-minded advanced readers, someone who is willing to look at something differently than what they have.
Yeah.
So I wish my younger self had known that tarot is a lifelong study and that there's always more to learn, even from those things you think you've mastered. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. And this is a Bohemian Rose. It's a great, watching other readers is really great learning experience.
Yeah, I did a lot of learning, and I do more oracle cards, but I did a lot of learning with the card readings from watching other learners.
Yeah.
And then
finding an opportunity to practice reading for someone else can be a challenge, but important for developing confidence. Yes, actually. And that's something that I like the idea of being able to build into some of the later classes, to be able to allow some practice. And I think that's would be extremely helpful.
Yeah. And Beth says, are you going to discuss pairing oracle decks? Are you planning to discuss clarifiers? And what about pendulum use?
I'm writing this down. Okay, this is me. Or tarot is an oracle. It is an oracle that actually has a standard and a structure of itself. So I like the idea of pairing. To be honest with you, I have a lot of oracle decks. I haven't used them a lot to pair. Clarifiers, absolutely. And pendulum use, I'm not sure, perhaps. Because if whatever people need in order to get the clarification for themselves is would be beneficial.
Okay. I think they would be good to clarify things when you're first starting the pendulums, make sure that you can see the nuances.
Yes.
Will you pair readers in class?
I would. I like the idea of that. I also like the idea of allowing the students to share what they're seeing together with the others in the class.
Yeah.
After we get a good baseline going. So,
yeah.
And Moira said not too new. Okay.
Not too new. Yeah.
Yeah, not too new. This could be great for you. So, are you setting up a practice closed Facebook group or Discord?
Yeah, we could do that.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
So
we can talk about that. So Moira says she has a lot of experience reading for herself, but not for others. Yeah. So that, I think the class is going to end up increasing people's confidence, right? Enough to start doing it for other people.
Yeah.
That's the aim.
Yeah. I used to go to a metaphysical store back in California, and they had tarot and tea, and we would sit at a table, sip tea, and read for one another.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. All tarot are oracles, not all oracles are tarot. Yes.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
So, sometimes you get a wonky reading with tarot because it's such a yes, no question. A pendulum is helpful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Rachel, we are still working on the cost.
Yeah, we're still talking about how to structure and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Because part of it is I have to, you can all tell just with the excitement that I'm sharing and the fact that I already have 6 content things together, 6 or 8 for level 1. But then, oh my gosh, that's a whole lot, Gerald.
It's okay. There's a lot to learn though with tarot. So
there is a lot to learn with tarot, and part of it is also how to deliver it in a way that is useful for the people who are attending. Because I'm also a person who, as an instructor, I used to do training. I like to learn some things from the people who are participating. And I'm not that teacher who says, "Oh, you only get an A if you teach me something." No, that's not true. But I think,
and I think we would say you're not a palm reader, right?
I am not.
So this would be a no, that wouldn't be included in that class.
It would not.
I am looking for a palmistry teacher, so we can add that to the repertoire with the Twillo Lifestyle Academy, but not in this particular class.
Yeah.
Ming has a question for you.
Have you ever had a situation where you couldn't read for someone like you want to, but cards don't want to? Yes, I have. And part of that is to know for myself, it's like okay, I'm not in the right space to do this, and I'm very honest with the person. And Ming, I will do readings for people online. And if I'm reading with other people and I can't read, I will bow out because I will have the other person do the reading. So, and sometimes I change the cards or I have to adjust the question. So, hour long class. I'm actually thinking 2 hours would be better, at least maybe 2.5. And I'm saying that because a little bit of practice is extremely helpful, depending upon the structure. And like with many things, the first 2 or 3, 2 classes, it's a lot of information that you got to get out. So then we can start to put the Legos together to create the buildings that we want.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I really think reading for one another is a good confidence boost for people who usually just read for themselves. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, it helped me too. Because you can get that confirmation, right? If we're just reading for ourselves, we're reading into it. Whereas if you actually start reading for somebody else and, you say, oh, yeah, there's a big change coming next week in your work. And the person says, yeah, I'm changing jobs. I'm going to a different position. Like, it's just that it is a confidence thing. It confirms what you're reading, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always good to keep learning.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yes, we talked about this one.
Reader ethics might be important to touch on. I have talked about ethics multiple times. I think ethics are extremely important, and that is something that will be covered. And thank you for that.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a conversation about that actually, didn't we?
Oh, yes.
About including ethics and what that means. And
yeah, absolutely true. Because
so important.
And I think one of the key things is about ethics is you have to be clear on why you are reading for people, because that clarity about why you are reading helps you to make informed decisions. And that's a real key thing, because especially when you're first learning, it's you might want to people who, when I first started learning tarot, I wanted to make everybody happy. So I was, of course, doing lots of readings for people. They were free. They would go on for an hour, 2 hours. And I always wanted to have them leave happy instead of having them leave informed.
Yeah.
And to have some other options. So
yeah, and like for me, that I started off that way too, and then it became more like I want to, and for me, I don't focus that much on the future of things, but I focus on things that you can do to support the options that may come. That kind of take on it.
And I'm a firm believer. Tarot is a great way to have an understanding about the options that you have.
Yes.
So I think it's like, dialing into the universe saying, okay, what do you got for me?
Yeah.
Will you discuss the different types of readings and how to prepare or sort of approach them as past life readings or a reading message from someone who has passed? That would probably be another level. Wouldn't be a beginning level class, because some people, when they read Beth, they are getting these, they're getting messages from guides and spirit teams and people who are deceased who are coming through. And And in fact, I didn't. I get that now, but I know that that's what's happening. Not everybody does. And so having a good foundation will be important. So I'm writing this one down.
That's another thing that we've talked about doing a class in, for sure, the past life or Akashic record stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
And the other one, reading a message from someone's past, is kind of like a mediumship thing. And so that's a different approach again as well. I mean, they can certainly all be combined into beautiful readings, but I think that would be a separate sort of class as well, or an advanced class where you're, past the basics, for sure.
Yes. Yeah. We have talked about several other options for classes. So,
so stay tuned for those. Yeah. There we go. There you go.
Well, yes. And there are really good Akashic Records teachers out there. There are very good Akashic Record readers out there. And Linda De Gonzalez does those. I join her. I do my Akashic Record stuff in a slightly different way. And Tanys is encouraging me to figure out a way to share that and to teach that. So, but yeah. So.
Oh, awesome. That's great. I do some of that as well, past life healing.
Yeah. Ming Hope, do you teach how to word the reading to the receiver in case the info is uncomfortable? I think it's one of those things that you do need to pay attention. That's part of the ethics.
Yeah.
It's my job to deliver the message in the way that that the person who is receiving the message can hear it, understand it, and consider it. Because delivery is extremely important.
Definitely.
So.
Definitely.
So I'm writing that down. Thank you, Ming. And there's several, and by the way, there are a lot of good tarot books out there. Yeah. In the class, there's going to be a resource list. I'm not going to tell you which ones, you don't have to buy any of these. You can always go to the library and check them out. But the other thing is I have to be able to articulate what works for me and why. Because if I share that with you, then well, I don't need that, Gerald. So that's not going to work for me. And that's cool. So, oh yes, never open a wound you can't close. Tell the truth with grace, empathy, and tact.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's one of the things that one of my mentors, and it's a great phrase, honesty without support is brutality.
Yeah.
So you really, really need to, how do you actually deliver the message is very, very important. Yes.
So that actually brings up an interesting thing for me, because I think I am more comfortable doing card readings because I do energy healing modalities as well. Because I know that if something does come up, I'm confident enough that I can help them work through it using the energy. Whereas I don't know how comfortable, I don't know. Well, this is just me, of course. I think that's a big piece for me, is that I've been able to do that. And there's been times when something's come up and I've been like, okay, can I hold space for you? Do you want to delve into that a little bit? Can we work on that? Because I use the Ho'oponopono a lot for healing stuff. So sometimes that's come up in a reading, but we certainly try not to do that, of course.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You also bring up okay, Jonathan, I wish you could do more acupuncture aided past life regressions. Yeah.
That'd be cool for sure.
I think it's an important thing to understand is that all of us who are watching this in playback, thank you. Leave your comments, let us know. All of those people who are participated in chat and given me, look, a whole lot of things to consider. Yes. Each of you brings your unique approach to the tarot and readings. And I should say, I think I should say, each person brings their own approach to when they do readings. And you have multiple skill sets. If your skill set is also includes Reiki, I encourage you to bring that to the table. This is not an isolated thing. If you, as a reader, for yourself, for others, or for yourself, for others, for whomever, I think it's really important that we don't separate our skill set, our skill sets. So instead of, we want, if all of these things are in separate boxes, we lessen our impact. I think we need to nest those boxes, because then all of our skills and abilities are linked up. And I think it's really, really important.
That's exactly why when I started my practice, I do all these energy healing stuff, and I do ceremonial healing stuff, and then I do readings and stuff. And when I started my practice, I was like, okay, well, I know people want to pick specific things. So I do have like different appointments for different things if that's what they want. But I always encourage people to do what I call a signature session. And I always joke, because I just do what I'm told in those sessions. And it might include readings. It could include healing. It could include past life work. It could include, forgiveness work, all of that. And I think that's important for all of us to do, is to use all of our gifts in the sessions that we give, if you have multiple ones that you've worked on.
Yeah. A class on how to read tarot might not be able to cover the many possible things about tarot that have been mentioned. You might need several courses. Yes. Yes.
Definitely.
And Bohemian Rose Tarot. How to let go after reading. Don't bring your querent stuff home with you. It's not yours to carry.
So energy management and cleansing after.
Energy management. And hi, Deb.
Hey, Deb.
Allow tarot to complement whatever your current skill set, and it will complement whatever you learn going forward. Make it part of you and your process.
Beautifully put.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah. A dream course would be cool too.
Yeah. Very interesting.
So
can look at that.
Gerald, it could be fun to explore creating your own spreads in the class. It would demystify spreads, which can be intimidating to newbies. That could be a separate class right there.
That could be a great workshop.
Yes. Right? Yes. Yeah. I'm still writing stuff down. This is great.
Thank you so much, you guys, for bringing all these great ideas. Yes, that's a good thing too. Like, how do you prepare? So your ritual, that would be like your energy management. How do you, like, for me myself, I open a circle and I do the tubing, and I call in the guides and all of that stuff, which it also includes a prayer of protection that I do. So,
and Linda, I like that, because I think this is one of those things. I would encourage you to formulate what it is that is going to support you, and I might have some suggestions, it's just like going, don't tell them what to do, Gerald. Instead of figure out and develop it over time. It's something that is it's a really important thing of what works for you, Linda, and what didn't work for you. and allow that to inform you going forward. I mean, I can tell you, and I've said this before, in the TarotStache way, I think I did it with Medium Betsy Palmer, and Purple Elephant Deb H. How do we prepare for a reading? And one of the things that I do is I'm always lighting incense, because it helps me to immediately feel a specific way. And not everybody can do incense. Do you do crystals? Do you do, there's lots of, I mean, do you pray the Our Father or the Hail Mary?
Yeah, so there's lots of ways to do it.
There are so many different ways, and it's what works for you. That's the most powerful. So, yeah.
There we go. And I missed one up here.
I am Dizzy Lizzie. Hey. Hi guys, I'm 70 and suggest that you have fewer readers. It's difficult to follow 6 people. Okay. Yep. I agree with you. It can be very confusing when having lots of readers online. Yes.
Oh, yes. I see. Yes, that's what we're talking about there. Yes.
Yeah.
And Jonathan says, I love spread creation. I feel like it opened up tarot in a whole new way. That's awesome.
Yeah. And
energy management.
Oh, a bell, a sage stick, light a candle, crystals. Yeah, there's so many good things.
Definitely.
Make hope. Do you remove entities off the receiver before reading the person in case it's bothersome to reading? No, I just tell it to get out of the way and not interfere. It's not mine to remove because I haven't been asked to do that.
Right. We have to have permission to do those kind of removals. And not everybody's trained to do that. So,
yes. Yeah.
I would suggest caution with that.
Yep. I asked my guides of highest vibe to join us and talk to my guides so that there's a buffer as I tend to channel. That's very nice.
Yeah, me too.
And, Rachel also said that music and sound helps them the most.
Yeah.
Yes.
And incense is good too, but sometimes allergic.
Yep. Light a candle on my tray of crystals and do a prayer. Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. Oh, thank you, Moira. I think Gerald would be an excellent and empowering teacher who encourages you to do you, boo.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I don't want people to do me, because I'm TarotStache. One of me is enough. Can you imagine 2? But yeah, I agree. I think it's very important that people lean into their own way of doing it. Yeah, it's exciting. Fall is only a month and a half away. I know, panic.
Yay!
So
you're going to be great.
Yeah. Yep. Have you tried selecting supporting tarot cards to manifest the future you want?
I have. I've done that with Oracle more than tarot. But when I have something I want to manifest, if I have an Oracle card that really speaks to that, I will sometimes keep it on my altar to help me to manifest. So I could see doing that with tarot as well.
Yeah, and I think the images of tarot, the images of cards can help manifest.
Yeah.
And to help set clear intention. So Liz and Oz company just left. Glad that you're here. Thank you, Liz.
Hey, Liz.
Yeah, awesome. Various sprays instead of incense. Yep.
There's some great clearing sprays with essential oils or crystal elixir type sprays that don't have the scent if you need the scent free, that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It can get tricky really fast. So best to avoid that stuff.
Yeah. And Beth says, I definitely use tarot cards in my spell work, like when I was moving across country, it was the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah.
Because the cards have an energy. So it would be similar to...
All of the cards have an energy, yes.
You creating a crystal grid to bring in the energy of that grid. It's the same sort of thing.
Well, see, and isn't that interesting? Because if people coming to the class, at the end of the class, they'll be able to figure out what is it what's the energy of each of those cards, and what's the approach to helping them manifest something. So when we pull up a card and we look at something, and if I say, well, the Three of Wands, what is the energy of that Three of Wands? How might I use it? How could I connect with it to help me achieve what I want? It's extremely, extremely important.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
So thank you, Bohemian Rose Tarot. It's going to be a great class. Thank you for asking us what is important. It's going to be amazing. So the challenge is when to do it. You know, what day of the week? I think yeah.
Do you guys do you prefer evening or do you prefer a weekend? That's the other kind of thing.
It's a good question. Yes, Jennifer. I know I should call you Jennifer. I just I also you're starting back to school, so I want to get Jennifer on, so for a live. Okay, so even sprays can cause problems. Yes.
Yeah, I like the gem elixirs for that, because you're just infusing water with the energy of the crystal, and so there's no scent. It's just water, but it's just water that's super energized. So I like those for that.
Okay, so Gerald, what about going over their significator? What is your significator? Can that change over time or change with the deck? This is very, very interesting because I have opinions about significators, and those might surprise some people. So that's good. So Ming said evening or weekend.
Yeah.
Linda has no life. Yes, you do. You're here. So of course you have a life.
Yes, exactly. That would be a great spray.
Black tourmaline spray. Yes.
Yeah.
That's great.
Roses. Thank you. Or tulips, maybe.
I think those are roses for Bohemian Rose Tarot.
Yes, definitely roses.
You know, Jennifer is evening or weekend. Okay. So okay. This is good. This is great. Tanys, we've been on for an hour and 27 minutes. So my apologies if you were wanting to keep this short. So.
No. Whatever the information, we've gotten lots of information tonight. I think it's amazing. Yeah, I'm not concerned about time and all that. That's great.
Well, and here's the thing. There will be, I think it's important that as I'm formulating the class, is what you're really going to need is you're going to need a notebook, something that you could write in, okay, evenings. Is that evenings during the week or evenings also on the weekends, Lightfoot? So I think it's an important thing. Note cards are a really, really powerful thing. 3-ring binders are great so that you can move things and rearrange them. Because as I mentioned, I don't want to scare people. There's going to be homework. Well, there's going to be an opportunity. Home play. It's also going to be an opportunity for you to be paying attention to how this stuff shows up. And I think it's one of those things that you get out of the class what you put into it. So, and
of course.
I used to develop training in my last career, so I will be working hard at putting those things into play and allowing enough space for people to share their insights, because I like a class that is engaged in sharing, because I don't want to lecture for 2.5 hours. I want to be engaged. So
yeah.
So, okay, weekdays or weekends. Yep. Don't get off work until 6 Mountain Time. Okay.
That's 8.
Yep.
Eastern.
So, and Keelan, I hadn't looked at a reading like an appointment for the readers when prepping in the initial acknowledgement meeting of spirit. Thanks for that glimpse. Yep. I think so. Paying attention calls to my ADD soul, your ad soul. Well, I always call that my superpower.
It is. Absolutely.
So Linda says I'll nap.
Weeknights she'll nap. All right, cool.
Okay.
Tops TA. Not sure what that is.
Yeah, no, that's good. So I like, yeah. Oh, Moira makes their own space clearing sprays. That's great.
Yeah, so, that's awesome.
And and here's the great thing is there are so many opportunities for people to explore and to apply. And my job as the teacher for this is to, I want people to start to have the basics, because if it's like if you I'm not a musician, I'm married to one, but if you know the notes and the scales and you have those and those come naturally to you, then you can put them together in all sorts of ways. And I want to help you get the basics and have those make sense. So, but yeah.
We have a whole bunch of discussion about significators.
And Jonathan needs to make sure that he's checking his email.
Yes.
So, but yeah. So
awesome.
But yeah. So I like that idea. So my approach to this is it's for let's take tarot and let's get an understanding of the key factors of, or the key components of tarot, and then how do you put those things together, and how do you do that with you, and how do you allow that to connect with you and your skill set and your language, and what's, I love the idea of what's your accent to the reading. Well, Beth, we need to start with the basics. So I think 3 classes would probably be good for a basics. I could easily do that to 6, but we've got to do that. So
yeah, stay tuned. We'll
yes.
be discussing that further.
Yep. Is each class going to have a different theme, looking at structure? Yes, each class will have a structure, and that structure will build on the class before it. So, so yeah, I appreciate that. That's a good question. So
awesome.
And it'll be, I will tell you, it's going to, it will be a bit different than what people are normally used to when learning tarot. And I'm okay with that. So I think this is an exciting opportunity. So,
well, that's going to help people that have had the traditional kind of tarot class get a different form of learning from this class that you're developing.
Yeah. Will there be cake? Calla Lizzie, there's always room for cake. You just have to supply it.
Yes.
So, remember, even seasoned readers can benefit from it. Well, Jennifer, I agree, because it's one of those things I've taken with my high priestess. I've taken the timing class maybe 5 times, And then each time I go, oh, that's what that means.
Yep.
That's what that means.
I've done that with classes as well. For me, I took a channeling class, the same one, 4 times. Mm-hmm. But it's become every time I got something great out of it. So.
Yes.
Oops.
Yes, I have, Jonathan, and no, I'm not going to tell you. You have to sign up for a class.
A mustache cake.
A mustache cake. Yes. Yes. There must be cake. Yes. Will this be a Zoom? Yes, it will be a Zoom class.
Yeah.
Yes, it will be a Zoom class.
Apparently you're a taskmaster.
Probably. I mean, but here's the thing is the key thing is you're going to get out of this what you can put into it, and there's no judgment. Yeah. If there are days, there are weeks where I can get out of bed successfully every day, that's great. And then there's other times where I can get out of bed, I can dance around, get all of my tasks done, and really deep dive into stuff. That's great too. Mm-hmm. So, because I do hope that there will be an opportunity for engagement in the class and conversation. And that reminds me, we're still looking at the class size. I actually want it to be a fairly, I don't want a whole lot of people in the class, mm-hmm. because I really want I really want people to be able to have time and space to process what's been going on. Yeah. And there'll probably be some handouts associated with it to help people with the guide. So bye, Jana.
Bye, Jana. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. So, and I hope people who sign up for the class, I love the fact that people are going to get out of it what they put into it, and sometimes things make sense, and sometimes they don't initially. So, and it will probably be a series of classes that each series will build upon the other one. Mm-hmm. And they may also, I have to figure out a way to make sure that they can be separate, but we've got to talk about that. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, but it's all good. We'll figure that out.
Yes.
We'll figure that out. So these are some of the things. That's why we needed your help today, guys.
Yes. And you all, I mean, you really brought it. Holy mackerel.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Yes.
It's such an amazing group tonight. Thank you. We really appreciate all of the input.
Yes.
And I think Gerald's got his work cut out for him now with all the notes.
Yes.
To comb through all of that.
Really, really wonderful notes. So thank you. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of this has given me a deeper insights on how I was structuring the class initially. So that's extremely helpful. Mm-hmm. And so that affirms to me a good approach, an approach that is going to work. And so I think it's there's some things that would challenge me, like a Facebook group or Discord. So,
well, if it's the mechanics of that, I can help with that.
So, yeah,
I have a group, so
okay,
I kind of get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing for us to talk about, whether you want them recorded for people that miss a class. Yeah. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that because I like doing this. I'd like to do more of this. It's much the same way as I love teaching. I love training. I love helping people develop their skills. I love doing private readings. So I think it's fun. I think it's a lot of fun.
Awesome.
So
great.
Yeah.
So shall we wind up for the evening?
Yes. Thank you, everybody. Holy mackerel. You all have been great. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming, everyone.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
And we wish you a wonderful evening and an awesome week. Stay tuned for all of that stuff. Check out the channels and website down below.
And I would say if you're watching the playback, feel free. I mean, and you can go back and by all means, leave some comments that are, I appreciate the constructive comments, helping to create something that's going to be beneficial for people. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can go back and check. So
please
go right ahead and leave those and we'll take a look.
So,
awesome.
Great. Thank you, Tanys.
So much. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming on and chatting about it.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I love this.
It's great. So we shall see everyone later and lots of love.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.